Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving deep into CVE 2024-54507, a fascinating kernel vulnerability in Apple's XNU. It's a really sus situation, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. A kernel vulnerability is always serious, but this one, with its clever use of sysctl, is particularly interesting. So what's the core issue?
The problem lies within the Susctl port handler. It's a sysctl, meaning it uses a custom handler instead of the standard boilerplate for managing kernel variables. The vulnerability stems from a simple, yet devastating, type confusion.
Type confusion? Explain that a bit more.
Sure. The handler incorrectly reads AUINT16_T, 2 bytes, as an int, 4 bytes. This leads to an out-of-bounds read, grabbing 2 extra bytes of memory. Even though there's a check to prevent overwriting, the overread happens before the check. Sneaky!
So it's reading beyond the allocated memory for the variable. That's a classic buffer overflow type issue, but a bit more subtle. What's the impact?
Exactly. The impact is information leakage. By reading from net.net.udp.log.remote_port_excluded, the last sysctl in the sequence, we can leak 2 bytes of adjacent memory. What those 2 bytes contain depends entirely on the linker's placement of code and data in the kernel.
Interesting. So it's not a guaranteed data leak, but a potential one. The location of the leaked data is unpredictable?
Precisely. It could be another sysctl, padding bytes, or anything really. The author even tested it on a self-compiled kernel and a kernel from the KDK, getting different results. It's a bit of a lottery.
So the fix is straightforward, right? Just change the read to use the correct type?
Yeah. The proposed fix is incredibly simple. Change int new value equals int OIDP to oidarg1 to int new value equals UINT16T OIDP to OID_arg1. A single line of code fixes a potentially serious vulnerability. It highlights how easily these things can happen.
It really does. It's a great example of how even seemingly minor coding errors in the kernel can have significant security implications. And the fact that it was found using an address sanitizer is also noteworthy.
Absolutely. The use of address sanitizers during development is crucial for catching these kinds of subtle bugs. This whole thing is a great reminder of the importance of careful memory management, especially in kernel programming. It's a wild world out there.
Indeed. Thanks for breaking down this fascinating vulnerability for us. It's a great case study for anyone interested in kernel security.
My pleasure. And remember, folks, always keep your systems updated. That's all for Tech Bytes and News. Have a great day and stay safe out there. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.